Hey traders, it's 12:12 Tuesday morning. I got a new job working second shift, so I'm going to try to schedule some morning videos where I can do actual live trades. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. So let's jump into the platform and take a look at what's going on today. Alright, now we're in the platform. You can see I got the BIL ETF, the Treasury ETF. We got 83 shares of that. We got about an $8,000 account, so we're using the entire account in the Treasury ETF, but that's only taking up 25% of the buying power. So with the rest of the buying power, we have all these bear trap trades that have been on for a really long time. So they're not using a lot of buying power. So there's a lot here. So we'll look at the risk graph. It's a lot easier to see what it all looks like. But the H cycle here goes out until March. And the M cycle starts in April. So we're not going to be placing any more trades. Probably not be placing any more trades in the H cycle. So we're going to look at that. We're probably going to leave that, and then we can analyze the M cycle on a different graph, and we can start adding trades to that to build it out more like what the H cycle looks like. And then SPY here, this is just a short-term trade, a cheap diagonal that I bought that's playing like an announcement that's going to happen. I want the market to drop back down close to 460, 461. Even 462 would be okay. But let's look at MES here first, the H cycle. So this is what I have left from before. I'm up about $100 or so on what I have left. I've been closing some of the naked puts, so I've made more money than that in this cycle, but I still have all the hedges on. So I leave them on just in case the market falls. So I have this giant hump here down at around 4,000. I would make $1,000. So that's my hedge. I have this step in the middle. At expiration, it would be about $250, but before that it would be even more. So that cycle is looking really good. The blue curve is 17 days, so 2 standard deviation, 17 days would only be here. 86 days is closer to when these options expire. All of them would be expiring at that point. 2 standard deviations is right around 4,000. So this cycle is pretty much finished. If the market keeps going up, I would make less, but I have no risk to the upside. So that's where I'm at right now in that cycle. We can look at the M cycle. Just have the one bear trap here, so it's just getting started. But it's out pretty far. You can see at expiration would be $500. And I only collected $3 on this first one that I put on. So I want to add to this. We can add a little step in here. We can add add a credit to this trap at the end, I'll add a credit to the beginning, and it'll add a little bit of risk down to the downside. So we're going to go into table. You can see all the days to expiration. We're going to go all the way over here real quick actually and look at the IV. It's changed a lot since earlier this morning, so I'm actually going to look at the 157 day, and I want to add a pretty decent step here. So I noticed the IV rank is really low, 2.8. So I think I want to buy a put spread right at the money. There we go. And now I'm going to go down and sell this put. I want to get a decent credit. I don't want to go too far down. Delta, I don't want to go too low. We can sell the 38 for the same price. So I might actually go up one strike. We'll lower it down. And there we go. So I sold this 38.50 put to pay for the 47.50 put spread. Now I did this so close at the money because that's gonna give me a lot of theta. It's gonna increase the theta a lot. If I paid for a put spread outside the expected move, closer to the 1 standard deviation line here, it would cost me a lot more theta. So let's look at the graph. Now it's added a lot of risk down here, doubled that risk because I went from 1 short put to 2. You can see the line's a lot steeper than it was. But now at expiration, this is 676. And we added this little step in here. Now at expiration, between these spreads, it's 176. And then $73. I didn't pay for it. That's not right. I wonder why it looks like that. Let's see. So now that I got these new trades in here, I can go in and click those 3, right click, go over to group positions, come down here, click on custom name, and then this was the one I had on before, so I'm gonna call it 100.111, and then it jumps down to the bottom. If you don't have them labeled, they stay at the top. Once you have them labeled, they sort by DTE, which is nice, and then you can see them all grouped together. If you click on them and you don't have this option to group them, then you need to go up here and select this drop down and select custom. Then when you select the options and right click, you'll be able to go over here and name them. This one is 50.111. So it grouped that together down here. Yeah, something's not right with that. There's options yet, so it's throwing something off. I think that's why the graph is looking weird. But It's kind of close because that would be 167. Yeah, because it's missing something. It's missing the extra credit or something like that. But it's you kind of get the idea. There would be this step here, but there's no risk to the upside. So I wouldn't be losing $70. I would be like making a couple dollars, or it's almost even. I bought this for $19.75 and I sold the put for $21.50. So that's like $2. If you multiply that times 5, it's $10, but then there's fees and stuff, so pays for it's just kind of paying for itself. So I have no risk to the upside. That should be flat at 0. A $50 wide spread is $250. So this should be $250. And then this should be $750 because you have a $100 wide spread, which would be $500, and a $50 wide spread, which would be $250. So at expiration, this should be $750, not $676 like it says there. And then that would actually add to here too, so all your losses would be less because you would be making $75 more than what it says. But you got your break even. Your break even at expiration is way out here at about the 2 standard deviation, so it's setting up to be really nice. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm building these. That's how I'm building this portfolio out for now. We can look at the SPY real quick. These short-term trades don't show up very good sometimes. It's a calendar, so the risk is even on both sides. So it should come all the way down here to 46. I don't know why it stays up like that. But the P&L theoretical at $60 in the middle, I don't know, 45. If you take $45 off of this side, or no, you'd have to bring this down to 45. So that's $70. So you bring this down $70. Can I make any money on this trade? Not today. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to make any money today. And then but that's tomorrow. And that's the next day. If I lower that down by $70, that's still over $250 profit. So I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of the setup. You can look at what I was looking at to put that trade on. It's the 3-day and the 6-day. One has an IV rank or IV, this is not IV rank. This is the IV implied volatility for that options expiration cycle. So it's 16.1 that day on Friday, and it's 12.2 on Monday. And then it's 12, 11.9, 10.8. So there's another one here where it steps down. So we could do the same kind of thing here. We could do the same kind of thing here. So I like to do the 1-2 day calendar or double diagonal when I see something like this. It's over a point, almost a point and a half difference. So what you can do, this is cool because I just noticed this on the fly. This is the kind of stuff I can do in these newer videos where the market's actually open. You could do these live trades. So this is kind of what I call a pickle trade because it looks like cat ears when you look at it in a risk graph. I just kind of look to set it up around the expected move. You could go closer if you wanted to. Maybe like that. Go to the 2-day. And then just start at the same strikes. 64. Okay, so it's delta neutral, positive theta. You make $35 a day if the market just stays here. Let's look at the curve and we'll take off the other one. Oh, wait, whoops. Take that off. So this would be the double diagonal. That would be after today. So your risk graph curve is almost like the standard deviation curve, which is kind of what you want if you're neutral. If we go out one more day, that's the magic of the trade. So 67 risk, 64 profit, 58 risk. I don't know why it's different. The risk is 63. So the risk is what you pay. But you can make 63. So it's risking 1 to make 1, and your probability is outside the expected move. These are the 1 standard deviation lines here. So if your probability is outside the 1 standard deviation lines, you're risking 1 to make 1. And probability is right here. So, I mean, you kind of have to take that for what it is, but that's 79% probability at the end of the day tomorrow if S&P was here. So we got to back up a little bit to see the probabilities right now. If we were to place this trade right now, the probabilities would be this. 49.6. So explain to me how the market is not exactly perfectly efficient. If I could have guessed that 50% probability and you're risking 1 to make 1. That's crazy efficient. So that's the setup. It's a decent setup if you think the market's not going to go anywhere. You're risking 1 to make 1, and most of the time the market doesn't really go anywhere. But you're kind of playing that announcement against the announcement. So you can bump these out. Oh, that didn't work. So from this point, if I want to adjust this, I'll move the longs out, turn it into a double diagonal, and then you're not paying anything. So your theta increases, but your risk increases. But not actually that much. Because you have that difference in volatility, you don't pay that much for these diagonals. So now, in one day, you can make $70. It pushes your break evens out a little bit more, I think. But you have more risk too. Then you can move the shorts out to match them. And there we go. That's what I like to see sometimes. These kind of funky curves where it kind of dips in the middle, but it's still positive theta and it's still a positive P&L after one day. But then you got these curves that kind of go up. So, and if you go out the next day, yeah, it kind of messes it up. But that's why I would call this the pickle trade, because when I'd set this up longer term, I used to do this like weeklies before the dailies were a thing, and you'd get a peak here and it would come down and it would be almost flat in the middle, and then you'd have another peak up here. But now you can merge it together and have the center up a lot higher. So I might do this one more time. That doesn't look too bad, actually. You're only paying 13 for that? Wow. And you're way out there. And you make 40 bucks in the middle. Alright, now let's move double calendar again. Look at that. Wow. You still have P&L in the middle. You're only putting up $48. You're kind of out there, so I kind of want to bring it in a little bit. Just let it sit for a little bit. This is also a play on volatility, so I believe 2 rank is low, and it could expand. I'm hoping it expands a little bit and stays in between my short strikes. Well, I meant to make that a short video, and it turned out a lot longer than I wanted to. But there's a lot of good information in there. So if you have any questions, let me know. Put it down in the comments. If you like this and learned something new, hit the like button and subscribe. Share it with somebody. Thanks.